This is Jim Cornette, pro wrestling legend and administrator of JimCornette.com and the Jim Cornette Experience on MLW every week. And you are listening to Angry Marks and all these people that are asking me all these questions that I'm answering with forthrightness and honesty.
I am your regular host, Stevie J, and on my side, as he is most weeks, is Jason Harland, a.k.a. the Great Sudoku.
Domo arigato, Mr. Roboto.
Yes, thank you very much for helping me escape.
So yeah, I do appreciate New Japan. They can be my Mr. Roboto.
Indeed they can, but we do have to talk a little bit about WWE news before we can get into that. And joining us to open that discussion is our good friend Abbey. Hello, hello.
Hey, how are y'all doing tonight?
We're doing fabulous, especially since you could be here tonight. So thank you for joining us on another edition of Thursday Night AMP.
Anytime.
All right. Well, without further ado, I'm sure everybody has heard the news by now, but we have to break it down for you just in case you haven't. Seth Rollins was injured on the very first night of WWE's European tour at the house show in Dublin, Ireland. He was wrestling Kane in the main event and suffered a very severe knee injury. We're talking torn ACL, torn MCL, just nasty stuff, tears all over the place. It's going to take 6 to 9 months to heal up all the different things that got torn. This couldn't have come at a worse time with John Cena being out and lots of people that are just not available to step in and fill that top role, and they're kind of left with a big mess. So, Abby, let me get your thoughts first. What are they going to do to solve this problem? They've already booked a tournament for Survivor Series. Who do you see coming out the new champ?
Roman Reigns. Of course it's going to be Reigns.
You don't think there's at least a possibility of Sheamus cashing in his Money in the Bank?
Maybe afterwards, but no, Reigns is the current golden boy, and they're going to put it on him no matter how apathetic his reactions are from people. So that's the direction Vince wants to go. He never admits when he's wrong. It's another Lex Luger in the making.
Well, the reactions have been a little less apathetic than usual thanks to the match he had with Bray Wyatt at the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view. It seems like he's getting a better pop now than he used to, but is it enough, Jason? Will it get him over the top?
If you'll forgive the pun, I hope that the WWE would give the reins to Roman Reigns and let him run, let him be a main eventer, let him run with the big belt. However, I have that nagging, sneaking suspicion in the back of my mind that they are going to put the belt back on John Cena.
No.
You knew what Abby's reaction to that was going to be.
No.
Plus, Cena put in for this vacation time months ago. They knew he was going to be gone for most of November and December, so he'd have to come back from vacation early, and they'd have to make some really sweet offers to him to make him do that.
Oh, no, not Cena. Hustle, loyalty, run back to Titan Towers from vacation.
Yeah.
He'd come back in a heartbeat.
I don't know, because he's been very vague and mysterious about whatever he's doing right now, so...
He's filming a reality show for Fox.
That's probably what he's doing based on all indications from the rumor mill, but he hasn't explicitly said it himself. I don't know why he would even need to keep that hidden other than the fact it's Fox, and maybe not everybody in his fan base is a fan of Fox. Other than that, I don't know.
Well, what, if he was doing it for the Cartoon Network, it would be better?
Actually, you know what? It probably would. He's right in their target wheelhouse demographic.
I don't know. I can picture Survivor Series and his music hitting, and it's, I will just boycott WWE from then on out.
Well, it does go back to that whole thing that Jon Stewart said when he screwed John Cena was, I didn't want to see him break Ric Flair's record. Now, are they really going to break Ric Flair's record just for this?
I wouldn't put it past him.
What do you think, Jason?
I wouldn't put it past the WWE to do that. Although it would be great to bring Jon Stewart back and have him run in again to prevent Cena from getting the belt. But yeah, I don't think they're that smart.
You know what? It would be perfect for him to do it right now because all he's doing is filming 2 to 3 minute videos for HBO. It's not like he has all the commitments of doing the Daily Show each and every day now. He's got free time on his hands to do a run-in.
And not a lot on his plate. I mean, yeah, he could fashion a chair himself from wood, bring it to the ring, and hit Cena with it.
And then Cena would be out for much, much longer than a vacation. I'm sure a wooden chair is not the thing he wants to get hit with.
Probably not.
Although I'm sure Abbey would not disapprove of that.
I would not. Hit him with a chair, hit him with a truck. I don't really care one way or the other.
Your feelings about Cena are almost as strong as Jason's feelings about Tanahashi.
Hey, my feelings for Tanahashi are right up there, too.
That is true. That is very
Almost
true.
as strong as my feelings for Tetsuya Naito, but not quite.
Well, as long as we're talking about injuries, we feel badly for Seth Rollins. We hope that he recovers fully, properly, comes back, and is better than ever when he does come back. But he's on the shelf for an extended period of time, and unfortunately, so is Kota Ibushi. I've already gotten Jason's reaction on that, but Abby, I want yours.
He was kind of asking for it with his style in the ring. You know, he's burning the candle at both ends and refuses to tone down his style. You know, that style, that high-flying style is what made him both in DDT and in New Japan, and he thinks he has to keep doing it.
But isn't that typical of most Japanese wrestlers at the highest levels, that they're going to go out there and work as hard and as fast as they can, come the hell or high water, damn the consequences?
Yeah, but Ibushi is really not, and I hate to say this because he's great, but he's not top-tier talent. He wants to get there, but if he keeps doing what he's doing, he's just on a fast track to a shortened career.
Yeah, most guys that go out there and bust their butts in New Japan don't damn near kill themselves during Best of the Super Juniors like Kota Ibushi did. I mean, he earned the nickname Kota Ibushi for me during that tournament because I didn't think he was going to make it out of Best of the Super Juniors alive the way he was messing up some of those spots. You know, I'm surprised it took this long for the injury to catch up with him, but yeah, it sucks. It's like I like watching Ibushi, but yeah, the style that he wrestles, he really needs to rethink and retool his style because he is very injury prone, and I am surprised it took this long for the injury bug to catch up with him.
Now, Jason, I'm going to throw out a comparison. Maybe Abby will like this, maybe she won't, but it just popped into my head when you talked about botches from Kota Ibushi. Would you say he's the homicidal, genocidal, suicidal wrestler of New Japan?
Yeah, he might be like Sabu's younger Japanese brother. He's not quite epic level of Sabu, either hitting or missing. Sabu is feast or famine, and yeah, he wouldn't be feast or famine. He'd be like dinner or a light snack, I guess you could say Kota Ibushi is.
Oh, Abby, do you agree? Is it feast or famine, or is it dinner and a light snack?
A dinner and a light snack. He's not near as bad as Sabu.
Yeah, some of the stuff Sabu does in the Botchamania videos, you just shake your head like, what was he thinking? And
I've never seen Ibushi grab a roll of tape and tape up, you know, an arm that got ripped from barbed wire. So yeah, he's not quite that insane in the membrane, but.
Yeah, although we have seen some Big Japan matches that would certainly qualify for taping yourself shut during the middle of the match.
Yeah, we would. back in the 90s, Big Japan was awesome like that.
Yeah.
Now, if only WWE could infuse some of that into Hell in a Cell, it would be perfect.
You know, as long as we're on that subject, you went there, I'm going to follow it up really quickly. What do you think of the whole accusation that Brock Lesnar and Undertaker bladed and didn't get punished for it? What do you feel about that, Jason?
They know they can do it and get away with it, so what does it really matter? And yeah, if they know they can do it and they're going to do it, I've heard it say, you know, it's better to ask for forgiveness than it is to ask for permission, and that's, I mean, it really doesn't matter to me if they had permission or they didn't. If they know they can get away with it and they're going to do it and they think it's going to add to the match, then more power to them.
Well, there's a two-pronged issue with that. One is that they get to play by a set of rules that everybody else doesn't, which WWE has had those kind of double standards for a long time, but I'm not sure that we should promote them. And also, even though in my heart of hearts I've enjoyed some of the bloodiest matches that WWE and other promotions have put on over the years, we are kind of in a different era now where blood is really not something you want to share and spread around. If we've learned anything from Abdullah the Butcher, it's that maybe it's best to not blade. Abby, what do you think?
How can anybody say those two bladed? I mean, it was obvious that their heads just itched. My God, you could see them blading. You know, and I've had a discussion with other people about whether they bladed or whether they didn't. They bladed. It's obvious.
Yeah, especially when Brock Lesnar came up a half inch away from the turnbuckle pole and was bleeding. He didn't even come close to hitting it.
No, but it's hard way. They started bleeding hard way. Nobody bladed. They both bladed.
Yeah, they
Listen,
bladed and they got away with it. Sorry, go ahead.
I mean, Taker and Brock, they've earned the right, especially Taker has earned the right to do that. It's Hell in a Cell. People expect blood, especially in that match. Now, do I think they should bleed from start to finish? No. But up until that point, the only person that had bled on the entire card was Charlotte. And that's kind of sad.
Yeah.
But it's not a big deal. Some blood is not going to kill the promotion. It's not going to make them lose their PG rating. It's not going to make, people quit buying Cena shirts. It was one match with two veterans, and Hell in a Cell, you expect blood. Most people were thrilled by it.
Yeah, and like you said, it's not going to affect their PG rating because it wasn't even on broadcast television. It was on a special event on the WWE Network that you had to be a subscriber for $9.99 a month to see. It's not like it was out there for anybody just flipping the channels to come across.
Yeah, it wasn't on Raw. It wasn't on SmackDown. And, if Vince is throwing a fit in the back because the doctor got treated as a lawn dart, what do you expect?
And that actually, to me, was the most entertaining part of the whole thing, was Brock Lesnar just saying, screw you, I don't want you to check this cut, get the hell out of my face. That was the best.
My big thing is who cares? 15, 20 years ago, it would have been, that's not enough blood. Now it's even a little bitty tiny bit is too much. It's ridiculous.
It probably is, but they've set a standard and they want to abide by it. And in the interest of fair play, even though I don't have a problem with it, I will say it's not fair to the rest of the roster to tell these guys they are veterans, they're big stars, they can get away with it. But if you do it, you're going to be fined and suspended. It's kind of hard for me to stomach that idea.
Yeah, but Undertaker is different than the rest of the roster.
He's definitely that.
Lesnar is different than the rest of the roster. These are guys that appear not on a regular basis, so they already are working under a different set of rules. Why isn't this included?
Speaking of that not appearing on a regular basis thing, that does tie into some news that I just read from Wrestling Observer, and they haven't confirmed the list yet, but apparently with Seth Rollins' injury, they're going to be, quote, calling the big names in. Does that mean we're going to be seeing more of Lesnar and Undertaker as opposed to less? What do you think?
If Vince wants to shell out hundreds of thousands of dollars to bring Lesnar in for more shows, more power to him. But this is the perfect opportunity for WWE to start building new stars. Right. So that they don't find themselves in this position again and stop depending on the veterans and the part-timers when going gets tough.
That was supposed to be the great thing about Cena going away. It was like, okay, here's the chance for the cream to rise to the top. The guys like Kevin Owens, the guys like Cesaro, they could get that chance now. And
I tell you what I would do?
Go ahead, Jason. Floor is yours.
If I was the WWE, I would start bringing tag teams up from NXT because that is where the action is, and that's what you could... Okay, yeah, bring up some tag teams from NXT. That is where the hot action is in NXT. You could use that to distract from singles. You've got, the New Day who's hotter than hell in the WWE. You could bring up Enzo Amore and What's-His-Face and just start bringing up tag teams from NXT, which has a hot tag team division.
I hate to interrupt you, but they're doing a big injury angle with Big Cass right now, so that's...
Yeah, What's-His-Face is hurt.
Yeah, that's not
What's-His-Face is hurt, the other guy.
Yeah, What's-His-Face is hurt.
Yeah.
What's-His-Face is hurt.
Enzo Amore and Big Cass, so yeah, that's not going to work. But they could bring up Reddy, Willing, and Gable and let them run through the stable.
Yeah, but with the track record that Vince has with NXT, I don't want to see any of those guys coming up anytime soon.
True.
You know what? He hasn't always gotten it wrong. I mean, the fact that we're talking about Seth Rollins being out and it causing a problem is proof that some guys get called up from NXT and it does work.
Well, that's because Seth admitted, that he bought into the WWE brainwashing.
Which made him a great heel.
Yeah. But you look at Ambrose, you look at Neville, you look at the Ascension, those guys, and it's like they have just been buried.
Well, the Ascension was doomed to failure from the beginning because they were a Road Warriors ripoff, and that was never going to get over in 2015.
But that was another one of Vince's things. Let's make them, an 80s throwback that insults all the great tag teams and think, hey, that's going to get him over his heels. No, that's just going to get him go away heat.
Exactly. It got him X-Pac heat. It didn't help him one bit.
No.
All right. Well, I think we've talked about WWE to our heart's content, and we are not going to overfill that heart. We're going to move on to things that our heart will enjoy more, like New Japan Pro Wrestling. So now that I've set the table, I'm going to let Jason take the lead chair and take it away.
Sure, and I guess my big question coming into this is, and I'm seeing this both on New Japan's website as well as Wikipedia. I'm looking at a lineup for the card, and I'm still showing AJ Styles is going to make an appearance on this in a tag team match with Bad Luck Fale.
Yeah, I'm seeing that too.
I'm not sure how much that injury is bothering him or how day-to-day that he is, but that's kind of the wild card. That is the X factor on this upcoming pay-per-view on Power Struggle here is, will AJ Styles compete?
Maybe he'll just get a few shots of cortisone in his butt and call it good.
As much as I hate to say this, it's not like he'll have a lot to do in the match. Look at who they're going against.
This is true.
Now, I will never badmouth Yano because he is my spirit animal. I will never badmouth him. Tacos, on the other hand, he can go out there and he gets beat up every night anyway. So it's not like they're going against a team that AJ's really going to have to get in there and do anything against.
No pun intended,
Sure,
but he's not going to have to go out there and bust his butt.
Exactly. That sciatic nerve will be just fine.
Go ahead, Jason.
Yano might even be able to score the roll-up on AJ Styles if he chooses to compete in the match. Get it over with real quickly, right
you
out
would
of the gate.
hear me screaming all the way to Japan if that happened.
Well, no, not right out of the gate, because Yano would first have to unlace the turnbuckle padding and throw it somewhere, and then he could go and roll up AJ Styles.
Yeah, he would undo the turnbuckle pad, hit Fale in the back of the head with it, run and scream like a 3-year-old girl, and then roll up AJ.
Yeah, that ducking between the ropes out of the ring spot, laughing, then come back into the ring, and then roll up AJ Styles to the 3 count. Yeah. Your spirit animal, he's grown a little bit on me. He's not kind of in my shit house as some other guys are, like Tanahashi, and yeah, Tetsuya Naito just occupies like a special 8th, 9th, and 10th circle of hell for me. But thank God Tetsuya Naito is not on this card.
Oh, but Evil is. The King of Darkness.
King of Darkness.
Yes, the man with worse eyeliner than Undertaker.
What a thrilling reveal that was. It was like, really? That's your guy? Okay.
Well, they had to give him something to do when he came back from Ring of Honor.
They did, and they gave him he came out in the suit and the skull gimmick, much like Naito did, and there was a big reveal, and it was less than stellar.
Well, I mean, who else could they have put under that mask? Somebody from CMLL that nobody knew?
That would have been interesting. That I would have marked. Make me do some research. It's like that seemed almost as out of left field as Chase Owens joining Bullet Club, which I wanted to get your thoughts on as well.
I didn't even know who Chase Owens was. I had to do some research on that.
Because I remember seeing him at Best of the Super Juniors, and he got over with the crowd because of his NWA ties, and the New Japan fans are just old school marks for NWA stuff, and he was getting over there, and he seemed to be getting over on his own merit, but yeah, he just doesn't seem to fit in with what the Bullet Club is at all, and I'm just kind of scratching my head here, like I was watching the Road to Power Struggle, and I'm like, Chase Owens is Bullet Club now? Okay.
Yeah, it was one of those weird kind of fitting a square peg into a round hole thing. I don't know what Bullet Club is really doing. I don't know if they're trying to become NWO like 1999, where they had everybody and their brother in it just to get more members. I don't know what they're doing, or any foreigner.
If you really want to tie it to NWO, get Tenzin and Kojima in there with them.
Oh, yes, NWO Japan, the glory days.
Oh, good times, good times.
Yeah.
But yeah, Chase Owens will be in action in, 8-man tag match. Chase Owens, Kenny Omega, another one of those guys in Bullet Club that I just can't stand, and the Young Bucks taking on Alex Shelley, Bobby Fish, Kushida, and Kyle O'Reilly. It's just, when you call somebody the cleaner, they shouldn't look like they just stepped out of a dumpster. They just really shouldn't. And Kenny Omega just looks greasy and slimy, like if you rolled DDT in like cooking oil and then in like some dirt, you would have Kenny Omega.
Well, he does come out with cleaning supplies.
With
a
mop,
a broom, a garbage can.
I'll be keeping my ears open for that Bullet Club spot they do where they drum the Terminator drumline cadence on the ring mat. That always amuses me.
I don't know. Bullet Club is just they're kind of out there these days. I just wrote a piece about the Bullet Club for a site today that'll be published tomorrow, and it's like the original was so much better to me. Just that small group of 4 guys that they started off with before everybody and their brother started joining in.
Back in the good old Prince Devitt days.
Yes, back in the good old Prince Devitt days. They had a lot more class back then.
They seem to have direction then, but yeah, I mean, it is kind of going the way of NWO in the late 90s where, yeah, it's kind of like everybody's in there and they don't really have a direction other than we're here and we're not going anywhere.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, in the match with the Time Splitters and Red Dragon versus Bullet Club, who do you pick in this one?
I got to go with the Bullet Club, just simply because there'll be some shenanigans outside.
That's
they'll pick up the victory.
Too. Yeah, they'll use some kind of chicanery, some trickery, some tomfoolery, if you will, to pick up the win. But it should be an entertaining match, especially with the Young Bucks. And Chase Owens is a good wrestler. I'm not all that big on Kenny Omega, just the way they have him with his heel gimmick. He just really doesn't really get his offense in until right at the end when he pins somebody with that one-wing angel move, and it's kind of boring to watch him. But the other guys in this match are really exciting to watch, so I am looking forward to this one. And this one, it looks like it's slated. Where is this one on the card?
Number 4.
This is number 4. Okay. So that should be good. And we were talking about Evil versus Hirooki Goto. Picking that one.
I say Naito comes back. I say Naito comes back and calls Goto the match.
That's a possibility, seeing as how he is not on the card. I'm going to go with Goto. I'd like to see him win. I'd like him just to Ushigoroshi the hell out of Evil there and just break his neck and be the Hirooki Goto that I like to watch. Be that innovator of unique offense with that Ushigoroshi and with the Shoten and the Shoten Kai and just the weird ass shit that he pulls out of his ass that he hits that looks so damn cool. It's always fun to watch Hirooki Goto matches, and I'm hoping that he shines in this one.
Yeah, that would be nice, but after he lost the Intercontinental Championship, back to Nakamura, he's kind of floundering. They don't really seem to have anything for him.
He had that Intercontinental belt for like a cup of coffee, and then it was gone.
Yeah.
I mean, they didn't have much confidence in him at all, but he seemed very solid to me, and he seems like he is a solid competitor that can kind of take that next step. We were talking about like top guys in WWE. I mean, I see him as someone who could be a top guy in New Japan if they give him the chance and the opportunity.
Yeah, but I think these days they're going with the proven commodities, and there's nobody basically more proven than Nakamura. So.
Yeah, I'd take Nakamura over Goto. Yeah, but that said, let's go to some of these wonderful undercard matches. We got a wonderful 8-man tag match to start things off. Jay White, David Finlay, Sho Tanaka, and Yohei Komatsu taking on Mascara Dorada, Ryosuke Taguchi, Tiger Mask, and Jushin Thunder Liger. Who's going over in this one?
It's not going to be the Young Lions, that's for sure.
No, it's who's going to eat the pin. Let's go that route. Who's going to eat the pin on Team Black Trunks?
Well, I think Finlay ate the pin in the last one, so it's probably Jay's or Komatsu's turn.
I'll go with Jay White.
Yeah, I mean, they're pretty much a revolving door as to who eats the pin.
Yeah, it's like, honestly, I would love to see Jay White turn heel and join Bullet Club. That would be awesome.
Yeah, he's got that Devitt vibe. I see him in a couple of years, being in that spot. But I don't know. I swear, if I have to watch Taguchi throw butts at everybody during this whole match, I'm I mean, the man's got feet. He's got, knees. He's got fists, forearms. He can start throwing something other than his ass around.
But all he ever attacks with is his ass, and he does the bomb IA, but it's more of a bomb assay. It's like, it's an ass bump. It's not a kick. It's not a knee. It's not a kick. It's an ass. It's a running ass shot.
And you think about it, a year and a half ago, Taguchi was the top junior heavyweight, very serious competitor in New Japan, and now he is their answer to Mr. Ass.
He's like their answer to Mr. Ass yeah, it's like, yeah, team him up with Mr. Ass, but he's also kind of this, like, I want to be Shinsuke Nakamura comedy spot thing, too.
Well, now he's taken to mocking more than Nakamura. He pretty much mocks everybody.
He'll put other things out, but he seems to go back to the well a lot with Nakamura. Nakamura seems to be his favorite, his go-to impersonation. He'll hit the swag-skay, and then he'll hit the bomb-assay, and just seems to be what he likes to go and do.
I think he's got a death wish.
Not as much as Kota Ibushi, but yeah, a little bit.
Well, he's got an on-purpose death wish, like, come on, I'm asking you to kill me.
Yeah, I'd like the singles match between Taguchi and Nakamura. That would be something to see.
That would be highly entertaining.
But one thing I did want to get your opinion on, too, with the talent exchange with CMLL, as they get Mascara Dorada through CMLL, with Carlistico or Sin Cara or whatever you want to call them, Mystico, Mystices.
Callistico.
Ole! With him going to CMLL, do you think there's a chance we might see him in New Japan in the near future?
Probably. Didn't Dorada sign for like a year, and isn't that year almost up?
Could be. But yeah, I like what Mascara Dorada brings to New Japan. I'd like to see him remain. If it was a choice between him and bringing in Carlistico, I'd rather keep Dorada around.
Yeah, Dorada's
in CMLL.
That's not going to happen, though, because Dorada's run is up, according to Wrestling Observer. He's heading back to Mexico.
Yeah, I thought his contract was almost up.
It is. And while we're on the subject of the talent exchanges between Japan and Mexico, apparently, this is what I've read from the Observer, Ring of Honor has been told, don't let your guys go to AAA, don't work AAA shows, especially anybody that's a Ring of Honor champion, because we're trying to forge an agreement similar to the one we have with New Japan with CMLL. They want like a three-way going on between CMLL, New Japan, and Ring of Honor, and they want AAA completely out of the loop.
It sucks to be AAA right now with that in place, and with losing Del Rio, and with Calistico jumping ship.
They're just getting hammered on all sides.
It's like it's been a rough month or 2 months here for AAA. It's really got to suck to be them.
No question.
Well, considering that WWE is not going to let their champion, AAA's champion, Del Rio, lose on television at AAA, he's going to have to drop it at a house show or vacate it or something.
I think they just need to release a press statement saying, we don't recognize him as the champion because he refuses to come back and defend it. The title is vacated.
That makes the most sense for everybody involved.
Yeah, and then he could just mail it back to them in a FedEx box.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I know that works up here in the United States, but does that go over well in Mexico, or does that kind of draw a lot of ire and heat from the Mexican fans that are a lot more ingrained and passionate than the American fans?
I think it's all about how you sell it in the press statement. You have to basically inform them that he's your champion and you should be proud of them, but he's not proud of you, so don't show this man any respect because he won't come back for you.
Pretty much. It's kind of an honor thing, kind of the same way it is in Japan.
Exactly.
You know, sports entertainment here has no honor, but you go to different, other countries and it's still pro wrestling where honor's a big thing. You know, with Mexico, it's the masks and the luchadors and everything like that. So, yeah, they have that honor system down there. And if, for whatever reason, Del Rio doesn't go back down to defend that belt, then throw his ass under the bus.
Pretty much.
Yeah, I suppose you can do that if If Vince isn't going to let him play ball, yeah, go ahead and bury him.
I mean, it's stupid to say, hey, you beat Cena clean in 7 minutes, and because you beat Cena, we're not going to let you go down there and lose. Which is basically the gist of what's going on, according to everybody that's in the know.
Right. Although the one suggestion that they haven't taken that I think could work if they were going to allow him to do it is send him down there for a 4-way match and put the title on the line, Fatal 4-Way style, and not have him be the one to take the pin.
I'm sure WWE would still see that as losing, though.
Yeah, well, if that's how they feel about it, then like I said, vacate the title and send it back FedEx.
True.
I mean, yeah, if you're going to send him down there, at least have him do the job clean and not, some kind of fatal 4-way thing. If he was going to go down there, have a legit, match where he drops the title as opposed to some kind of...
Vince McMahon's never going to let that happen, Jason. You know that right now. He's not going to let his United States champion go down to Mexico and get pinned clean.
Especially if there's any kind of camera anywhere around.
Yeah, and there will be tons of cameras because they still have Lucha magazines down there. They still have a wrestling press that covers these things.
They have the press, they have the TV, and yeah.
It'll be interesting to see how it plays out.
Indeed.
Well, we can get back to our New Japan card. We've got a 6-man tag match with the Bullet Club and Abbey's favorite wrestler, Cody Hall, teaming up with Tama Tonga and Doc Gallows, taking on NXT's Hippie, Juice Robinson, Captain New Japan, and Togi Makabe. Who takes the pin in this one?
I would say Captain New Japan, but I have heard these nasty little apocalyptic rumors that he has started winning matches lately. So, I'm not sure.
I'm going to say Captain New Japan takes the pin. It could be him or Juice Robinson, but it's Captain New Japan. Come on, he's counting the lights in this one.
Come on, let's say Cody Hall gets pinned by Captain New Japan.
That would be awesome.
That would be awesome.
I don't think they bury Cody Hall or Bullet Club like that, but
I don't like Cody Hall.
Yeah, you like him almost as much as you like Takahashi.
Poor Sleaze. He's still out on the shelf with that neck injury, but I don't know. Cody, I did not realize he was as sensitive as he was. Can't take constructive criticism, but I don't see what Bullet Club would lose if Cody Hall took the pin.
I don't either, especially with a team that's just kind of mismatched like this with Cody Hall, one of the Tongans, Tama Tonga, and then Doc Gallows. It's just kind of like a mix and match Bullet Club piecemeal team.
Yeah, and poor Tama Tonga, he's so good, and he's just stuck in this tag team hell.
Kind of, yeah. That's the one area where New Japan kind of excels at. They've got multiple tag teams, multiple 6- and 8-man tag teams, and yeah, it's easy to get lost in the shuffle. And for a while there, like back around the G1 tournament that he wasn't involved in, there were matches on the card where he'd be involved and be getting the win, and it looked like he was going over, but nothing really came from that.
No, and I think he deserves a singles run. He's really good. He's got a lot of charisma and a lot of skill. And normally with New Japan, these tag team matches kind of set up for something, a singles match down the road, but this card especially just kind of seems it's the afterthought of everybody that's been on the card for the road to power struggle.
And do you think Tama Tonga would be able to make a run as a singles wrestler as a member of Bullet Club, or would he need to leave Bullet Club in order to make a singles run?
Either or. He doesn't really have much of an identity outside of Bullet Club. He was one of the founding members of it. I think he would do good, as a singles member with Bullet Club and just do something other than get lost in the shuffle of all these tag matches.
Maybe that, or, team him up with his cousin Bad Luck Fale and keep them as a unit either within Bullet Club or have them leave Bullet Club and be the Tongans or something. But, if you're going to have him, form an identity, at least do it, along his nationality lines and with his blood relative there, and have them team up and have them, maybe have individual singles run success, a bit of a push here and there for one or the other. But yeah, kind of getting lost in this whole this whole Bullet Club amoeba that keeps growing like the Blob shuffle just isn't working for guys like Bad Luck Fale or guys like Tama Tonga.
No, I mean, even Fale here recently had a singles run against Tanahashi. It was a little run, but he had singles matches against Tana. What was it, on Road to Destruction and leading up to it?
Yeah.
So at least he was able to get out there in a singles match. Tama Tonga can't even do that.
No, he hasn't reached the level where he's jobbing to the top stars in the company yet, but Fale did that. Anyway, we have the Super Junior Tag Tournament 2015. We have Beretta and Romero. We have Roppongi Vice taking on Matt Sydal and Ricochet. What are your thoughts on this match?
I'd love to see Roppongi Vice win.
So do I. I really think they got screwed over at the last pay-per-view, and I want to get your thoughts on that. Was that an angle? Was that just a legit fuck-up on the part of the referee? What went down on that title match where RPG Vice got screwed out of the title?
I'm not sure if that was Tiger Hattori just kind of messing up with that count. I don't know what happened in that. It was kind of split down the middle with who thought this is what was supposed to happen and who thought the ref messed up.
I mean, yeah, the pin was clearly broken up, and I was watching the English language commentary, and Matt Stryker was like, and it's broken up, and then the bell rings, and it's like, what just happened?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, everybody was kind of confused. It was like, what the fuck? That can't be the end of this.
And hopefully it's not. Hopefully, this is the beginning of a renewed tag team push for Roppongi Vice, for Beretta and Romero, and hopefully they'll get a rematch, if not win the IWGP Junior Tag Team Championship, which I think is more hotly contested and has the more talented competition going on for it than the big IWGP Tag Team titles.
Well, who's actually competing for the IWGP Tag titles?
Are those on the line? Those aren't even on the line.
No, because Gallows is facing Anderson is facing Nakamura. But really, who's challenging for him?
Exactly. I mean, you have more junior tag teams in New Japan, and you're importing some from ROH too, with guys like Red Dragon, and then with guys like Matt Sydal and Ricochet, I guess, who's kind of a free agent. But yeah, it just seems that the depth in the junior division, especially a tag team, is just so much more than it is in the heavyweight tag team division.
I would like to see Roppongi Vice win because they're an actual tag team. They're not two guys that are thrown together like Sydal and Ricochet are.
Yeah.
They're kind of together based on circumstance, not because they are a functioning tag team.
And they are, I guess, what I would consider in a New Japan roster, too. They're not guys that are brought in from ROH or brought in from the Indies. They are mainstays in New Japan Pro Wrestling, and they are a tag team mainstay in New Japan Pro Wrestling. I'd like to see them go over, too. And, Rocky Romero is one of my favorite current active wrestlers. Guy is just amazing.
He's so fun to watch.
He is, and he makes me wish I knew Japanese so I could figure out what the heck it is he yells to the crowd to get them so pumped up, because he yells things in Japanese that gets just raucous laughter from the crowd. It's like, what did you just say to them, Rock? You know how to work a crowd in a language that is not your first or your second. It's obviously your third language, but you can still work the crowd in your third language. That is some skill.
Mm-hmm. I can see them winning and going on to face Red Dragon for the titles.
I'd like to see that. They definitely deserve a rematch there. But we have the Never Open Championship being defended. The new champion, Tomohiro Ishii, taking on Tomoaki Honma. Your thoughts on this match, Abby?
There are few things in the world I like better than watching these two try to kill each other. Seriously, I have watched their matches that they've had in the past and their match at G1, and it was like, it's a thing of beauty to watch these two men try to kill each other. They will sit there and chop each other for 5 minutes.
They will, and it's sort of a different style that Honma brings than somebody like Togi Makabe, some of the bigger super heavyweights do. It's kind of a clash of styles, but it's still a strong style match nonetheless.
Well, Honma spent his early career doing death matches, so he can pretty much go head to head and toe to toe with anybody.
Yeah,
as long as he doesn't talk, As long as he doesn't talk, I'm good with whatever he does.
Dr. Claw.
Oh, it's so bad. It is so bad.
I mean, he's got like that low-key / Mr. Pogo, just deep demon voice.
That's what crushed vocal cords will do to you.
So over under on the amount of Kokeshi headbutts that Hanma's going to miss before he hits his first one.
He'll miss 2. He'll hit the 3rd.
He's going to hit the 3rd one.
He'll hit the 3rd one.
Say,
he'll miss the first 2.
I'm going to say he's going to miss the first 3 and he'll hit the 4th.
Yeah, based on history, he normally misses the first 2 and he'll hit the 3rd. But
he does. But this is special. This is a one fall 60-minute title match for the Never Open Championship.
Yes, that ever so important title. I'm still not sure what that title even means. I mean, I know what it means, but
of prestige.
I'm not sure the purpose of that title.
It's for guys that they don't want to give the Intercontinental Championship to, and guys that don't quite fit into the junior division, guys that aren't ready for the heavyweight title. It's just,
It's just the never title, because you're never going to get here, and you're.
It's a 100-year-old bottle of wine. You're never going to open it.
One of the AXS TV commentators referred to it as a bauble, and I was like, that is perfect. It is a bauble.
Well, bauble or bottle, either one works.
But yeah, I don't see Ishii dropping the title this quickly. He just I can't see him dropping it to Hanma. I can see it being a good match. I can see it going the distance, but much like in the G1 climax, Hanma's going to come up a little bit short.
But remember, Hanma beat Ishii in the G1. That was the only match he won.
That was his one and only victory.
That was his one and only victory. So I have a feeling we'll all be crying with Hanma at the end of the show, though. He'll come up just short.
Hanmania won't be running wild this time.
Oh, well, there's always next time.
And then we have the co-main event of Katsuyori Shibata and John Cena, Hiroshi Tanahashi, versus Kazushi Sakuraba and Kazuchika Okada. So yeah, we got Cena, Hashi, and Penalty Kick Boy taking on a legit Pride fighter and the IWGP Heavyweight Champion.
Stupid Tana and his stupid hair and that stupid air guitar.
Yeah,
I don't like Tana.
How many braids is he going to have his hair in for this match? Let's get an over-under on that.
I don't know. If he comes out with that ponytail, oh, God.
Sometimes he comes out with the ponytail, but sometimes he comes out with braids and a ponytail. Like braids on like the left side of his head, I think, and a ponytail in the back. And it's like he's going for the Who Looks More Effeminate, me or Kofi Kingston award.
Well, if he comes out in pigtails, then we'll know he's like completely gone around the bend. But I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 braids for this one because it is a co-main event.
Yeah, it is. And this is kind of, I guess, building that Okada versus Tanahashi feud going into Wrestle Kingdom come the new year for Tanahashi's Money in the Bank briefcase that he's got. And unfortunately, I can see them using, this to gain Tanahashi some momentum. I can see that 5-knuckle frog splash that he does winning the match. I'm not going to call it the
I hope not.
It's like just completely blurring that line between Tanahashi and John Cena. It's the 5-knuckle frog splash.
I respect what Tana has managed to do in his career, but I cannot stand him. I just cannot stand him.
Neither can I. I was saying, if there's like some kind of equivalent cereal of Fruity Pebbles in Japan, they really ought to put out a t-shirt for Tanahashi.
But everybody seems to love him. And that stupid-ass air guitar.
The stupid-ass haircut and the stupid-ass 5 moves of doom that he does. It's like, he does, let's see, what does he do? He does the high fly flow, he does the air guitar, he does a dragon screw leg whip.
The sling blade.
The sling blade, and sometimes a drop kick.
I just don't like him. I would much rather see a match between Shibata and Sakuraba, one-on-one between those two.
Singles. I'd much rather see a singles match between Tanahashi and Okada too, but that's kind of the slow burn for January that we're waiting for.
I don't see why Tanahashi gets another shot at the title. He's already held it 7 times. He doesn't need it anymore.
No, he really doesn't. I mean, they could have brought somebody up. I mean, honestly, I think I would have been happier if it had been Tetsuya Naito.
Oh my God, really?
At least give him a chance to run with it. I mean, don't saddle him with this crappy gimmick, but yeah, it's like, or even Hiroki Goto, somebody like that. Give somebody else a chance at the big belt. It doesn't need to be John Cena Hashi.
No, it doesn't, but New Japan falls back into, they have a bad habit of falling back into the comfortable sometimes.
Which is interesting. Speaking of falling back into the comfortable, I guess this is not one of their major pay-per-views, but some of the names that I'm not seeing on here, like Yuji Nagata or Manabu Nakanishi, or the old NWO Japan guys, the Satoshi Kojima and Hiroyoshi Tenzan, it's like not seeing them on the card is kind of interesting. It's like usually, come hell or high water, you see them on the pay-per-view cards, but yeah, conspicuously absent are their names from this one.
They've been absent on the shows leading up to it, too, now that you mention it. I haven't really missed them.
Nah.
Nakanishi I've missed a little bit. Nagata I've missed a little bit, but Tenkozy not so much.
They're kind of like, I guess, Undertaker. They're kind of part-timers anyway.
I don't know. I just really hope Tana does not get a pin in this match.
Yeah, unfortunately, I can see Tanahashi hitting the high fly flow, probably on Sakuraba, because they wouldn't want to have it on Okada just yet. They're saving that for something. But yeah, I see Team Cena winning this one, unfortunately.
Yay, that means air guitars.
Yay, air guitars. But since it's the co-main event, it won't be air guitars, playing us off of the show. So that's always a plus.
True, but having to watch the young lions, reach under the ring to get an air guitar and toss it to Tanahashi, no. No.
That kind of sucks.
That's just stupid.
And yeah, a little bit torn on the main event. We have Shinsuke Nakamura versus the Machine Gun Carl Anderson. And as I was saying on our last show last week, this is kind of Carl Anderson's time to shine. This is his chance to step up. And there's a lot of things that he can do verbally, I think, with the crowd that can get him over that, his work rate might not get him over alone, but just some of the things that he says are just absolutely hilarious during the courses of matches. And I'm kind of hoping to see that Machine Gun Carl Anderson in this match.
Me too. I mean, he doesn't get the credit he's due because of the Bullet Club and everything that goes with them. But he's a really good singles competitor. He's really good in the ring when given the chance.
And I think this is a good opportunity to give him a chance. You're not throwing him in there against IWGP Heavyweight Champion Okada. You're throwing him in there against the IWGP Intercontinental Champion in Shinsuke Nakamura, in a solid competitor in his own right. But it's kind of a nice testing ground to see what Carl Anderson can do in a main event for, not the biggest title in the sport, but the second biggest.
Mm-hmm. It'll be interesting. I don't see him winning. Because
no, I see Nakamura
New Japan
just filing the absolute crap out of Anderson in this match. But
well, that and New Japan has already announced that Nakamura is going to be, unfortunately, heading down the Cena road of doing open challenges for the Intercontinental Belt.
So first they rip off the Money in the Bank. Now they're ripping off open challenge. Are we going to have Hell in a Cell at Wrestle Kingdom 11?
Oh, God, I hope not.
It's like, please, you do not need... Let WWE rip your ideas off. You do not need to be ripping ideas off from the WWE. That is the wrong direction to be going.
I mean, it would be nice to see something like that over there, just for surprise effect instead of knowing what's going to happen a month out. But, yeah, they need to do their own thing because that's what they're good at. That's what makes them the king of sports, basically. They're still professional wrestling. They don't need to go this whole sports entertainment bullshit route.
I agree. And yeah, I mean, I think if you're going to do any kind of an open challenge with one of your titles, you've got the Never Open Championship, which has open right there. I mean, that's the kind of title that you'd want to do open challenges for. That's, not a very important title, a title nonetheless in New Japan, but that's one where you could throw out an open challenge, every week and make a champion look strong by defending it and perhaps use that to elevate a Never Open champion to the level of an Intercontinental champion.
Yeah, I mean, it's the only open weight title they have. Some of the guys are relegated specifically to the junior heavyweight division. Other guys are relegated specifically to the heavyweight division. That open weight title, anybody can go for. So, yeah, that would add a little interest to that title and also give everybody on the roster a chance.
Yeah,
I can't really see. I can't see Ishii putting on matches at the level of Nakamura, though, as much as I love him.
No, just because they're, just two guys built two different ways. And Nakamura can go for a lot longer than Ishii can. That being said, during the G1 Climax, there were some long matches when Ishii main evented that he surprised me, and he can pull out the stops. But yeah, an open challenge where night in, night out, like on every Road 2 show if he's defending the belts, no, I can't see him sustaining that. But
then again, you don't want to burn Nakamura out either.
That either, but that said, I can see him I see Bomaye and Anderson eating it despite, Bullet Club being at ringside. I don't see Bullet Club shenanigans costing Nakamura the title in the main event.
I don't either, especially since they just took it off of Goto after, he had it for 3.5 minutes.
Yeah, he had it for as long as Ronnie Garvin held the NWA title.
How long did he hold that title? Wasn't it like less than a month?
I don't know. Stevie, do you know that one?
Sorry, don't have a good answer for you on that.
Nobody was expecting me to go to the Ronnie Garvin card.
That was so long ago.
Showing my age here.
We're all showing our ages in the fact that we remember it.
Yes, it did happen. He was NWA
It did.
champion.
I remember it happening. I think he had it for like less than a month.
I was going to say it was a pretty short reign.
Which is why I brought it up. Yeah, that's why I used it in comparison to Hiroki Goto's IWGP Intercontinental Championship run, because he had it long enough for a slice of pizza to get cold, and then it was back on Nakamura.
I'm actually looking it up right now as we're talking about it.
All right.
Useless wrestling trivia.
Useless wrestling trivia.
National Wrestling Alliance. It's got to be in here. World Heavyweight Champion one time. How long was that title reign? I'm completely obsessed with this now. Sorry.
I'm trying to think of the era. It would have had to have been like 87, I'm thinking.
86, 87.
87, that era.
His reign was 62 days.
Oh, God, 2 months.
Oh, wow. Okay, a little over 2 months.
And he won it at a house show in Detroit.
What year?
1987.
87.
All righty, I got it. Oh, my God. He won the title at a house show. Wow.
Yes, believe it or not.
Well, you have to remember, that was around the time that Flair was stalking Precious and Ronnie Garvin was running around in a wig and a silk robe. It was all fucked up.
Yeah, well, here's the interesting thing about it as I'm looking at the title history. The 2 reigns after were Flair for 412 days and Flair for 452 days. So Garvin was just the filling in a Ric Flair sandwich.
Everybody back then was the filling in a Ric Flair sandwich.
I guess so.
In and out of the ring.
In one way or another.
Oh, you went there.
You have to go there. It's Flair.
Be fair to Flair.
Speaking of Flair, y'all did hear about how he screwed up the first night in
he
Dublin.
Said Fit Finley instead of Finbalore.
That's just so sad. How the mighty have fallen.
Hey, it's no worse than Lillian Garcia does on a weekly basis.
Yeah, but I mean, they're in Ireland.
Which is
that was
probably
supposed
why
to win the match.
That's probably why he thought of it, because he thought of the first Irishman he knew.
Lord have mercy.
My name is
we couldn't
Finley,
call
and
him
I
Jeff
love
Harvey.
to fight.
I think Flair had been at the pub most of the afternoon before he hit the ring.
Yeah, probably having a few Guinness.
Or like when that ECW announcer said that Sabu was from Bombay, Michigan. Great job there.
Was that on a Botchamania
Heatwave
video?
98.
Heatwave 98. Okay, I've got that on tape. I gotta go back and watch.
It was the RVD Sabu versus Hayabusa and Jinsei Shinzaki. And yes, the announcer announces Sabu from Bombay, Michigan.
Well, that's close to being the truth. I mean, he was from Michigan, so he was half right.
That's like Tracy Smothers being from Nashville, Italy.
You know what?
That was my favorite.
I love the kayfabe of that.
That was awesome. That was one of my favorite parts of the FBI was Tracy Smothers.
Exactly. It's like a wrestler being from parts unknown. Sometimes you just accept those things as just being what they are.
And yeah, that's that whole fake Italian gimmick that Tracy Smothers had was amazing.
Speaking of which, Tracy Smothers was a recent guest on the Undisputed Wrestling Show, so if you go into the archives at AngryMarks.com, you can hear him talk about the full-blooded Italians.
Cool.
Speaking of cheap plugs, since I've already opened the door for that, let's get a few out there. Abby, why don't you go ahead with yours?
Oh, let's see. Y'all can find me on TopRopePress.com, where I am currently in the midst of doing a 7-day series on the New Japan roster, since we're talking about New Japan, covering the whole roster in a series of articles. I do a weekly column at RingsideNews.com, and I'm a writer for Pro Wrestling Authority. And other than that, y'all can find me on Twitter, here, there, and everywhere, wherever there is wrestling on.
Indeed you can. Abby Brooke, BROOKE 2121.
That is me.
Indeed it is. So, Jason, what are your cheap plugs this week? Apparently his cheap plugs are static and farts.
Did we lose him?
This happened last week, too. I think he'll be back here in a second if we give him a chance.
It sounds like he's beating his phone against the wall.
Yeah, that is what it sounded like last week, too. And Kevin and I were just left sitting here perplexed. Like, did he fall into a black hole of slam from Abyss? What's going on over there?
I think he's hitting his phone with a sledgehammer. I think that's what it is.
Oh, yeah, that's not working at all. You know what? I think I'm going to have to disconnect and reconnect him. Let's see if we can bring him back into the call. All right. That should end the beating the phone against the wall. All right, let's see. Jason, can we get you back into the conversation? Oh, now he's not showing up as on my contacts list.
Oh, that's what happens when you beat a phone against the wall. Knocked you right out of his list.
Yes, it did, but he just popped back up. Jason, are you there?
I'm here.
Yeah, we lost you. Your phone went into the Twilight Zone.
Yeah, hopefully, next week that should be better as I'll have home internet. And yeah, my cheap plug is T-Mobile can go screw itself. So there's one. T-Mobile can eat a bag of cocks. Let's see. On Twitter, at Great Sudoku, I live recap New Japan shows. I also uploaded some pictures of jack-o'-lanterns I carved. One was the Lucha Underground logo, and Vampira retweeted that, and that blew up on Twitter. So check out my jack-o'-lantern pictures there on Twitter, too. I got my cooking blog at veggiebending.wordpress.com. I just uploaded a lentil curry recipe dal. Nice and spicy. Tastes great, like Curry Man. Hey, we should get Christopher Daniels to try that recipe out. He might like it. And we'll plug njpwworld.com because it is the best 999 yen you can spend every month.
Absolutely. And like I always do, the yen to dollar conversion ratio right now means that 999 Japanese yen is only $8.21.
Wow, less than $8.50, less than $9. It's less than the WWE Network, and you get far superior in-ring action.
Less than a cost of a New York sandwich at Gandolfo's. That may be too obscure a reference. You guys probably don't have Gandolfo's where you live.
I'm in the South. We're lucky to have a McDonald's.
All right, then. Well, it's not just my show. It's Jason's show. It's Abby's show. It's everybody's show. It's the public show. You can always let us know what you want to hear more about, giving us feedback at AngryMarks on Twitter, or send an email to stevej@AngryMarks.com if you prefer to go that route. But we want to say thank you for listening. For myself, for Jason Harlan, a.k.a. Great Sudoku, and for the wonderful Abby joining us tonight here on Thursday Night MP.
You're listening to Thursday Night AMP on the Angry Marks Podcast Network.